Hey, this is Fish on a Heater, and this is Tournament Takeaway. It's a YouTube series where we look at some Pokemon Go PvP battles, and we take a look at specifically the decision making that happens in the moment, because that's how I feel that's how we separate the great players from the rest of the pack, which is the decision making in the moment. Nobody cares what team you're using. You can use anything you want as long as you understand when they need to be shielded, how much energy you need to build up, when to switch, all those things. That's how you're gonna get better as a battler. So let's take a look at, this is a Marsh Cup tournament. This is the first one that I played for the month. This was a practice tournament held on the Arena Australis Discord server. That is a server that aims to build the PvP scene in Australia and New Zealand. If you're from either of those two countries, definitely check it out. It is, we're going to put a link, I will put a link in the description below the video. Let's check out this battle. This is battle number 1 of the set, and we are leading Lapras into Frostlass. Now, I don't know off the top of my head who wins this lead. Let's check that out. So Lapras wins up, but that's the 1 shield. We want the 2 shield. And it's very similar. Lapras wins, getting hit by 1 Shadow Ball. It takes 2 Surfs to knock out the Frostlass. How many Shadow Balls does it take to knock out the Lapras? So if we don't shield that, and we've got to put a Shadow Ball back in there. So it is taking 2 Shadow Balls. Even though Shadow Ball only does 45% damage to a Lapras, that means that the Powder Snows are adding up. That damage, even though it's double resisted, only doing 2 damage per Powder Snow, it's still adding up and enabling that Frostlass to feint the Lapras in 2 Shadow Balls. So if you want to win that lead matchup, you gotta not get hit by 2 Shadow Balls, essentially. So however many shields you need to spend to make that happen. Now, this was good because you might have noticed that I didn't fire that Surf straight away. It takes, here we go, numbers time. It is 3 turns per Ice Shard. It takes 4 Ice Shards to get to a Surf, because Ice Shard is 10 energy, Surf is 40 energy. So altogether, that's 12 turns to get to a Surf. Frostlass, the Powder Snow takes 2 turns, and it gives you 8 energy. So Avalanche being 45 energy, it'll take you 6 Powder Snows to get to an Avalanche, being 48 energy. And it will take 12 turns to get that out. So it takes the exact amount of time, exact same amount of time for Lapras to fire a Surf as Frostlass to fire an Avalanche. However, Frostlass is not going to fire an Avalanche as soon as it gets it, because Avalanche, double resisted, is going to do nothing. So Silverfire wants to build up enough energy to get to a Shadow Ball, and then maybe can decide to throw an Avalanche if he wants that little, head start on energy towards the next Shadow Ball. So if I had fired the Surf straight away, Silverfire would have thrown a fast move at the same time, and he gets that Powder Snow for free, essentially, because it fires at the same time as my charge move does. The charge move takes 1 turn to complete, so Frostlass gets that extra energy without having to get use all 2 turns for it. If I wait another Ice Shard, Silverfire is going to get to that Shadow Ball and then fire his own charge move at the same time. Yes, we lose CMP through that, but it means we're not giving away free fast moves. We're denying them that. The first one is Shadow Ball, then we fire off the Surf. And then we fire off another one. Which Silver opts to protect it. Now, this was a bad decision by me. We've established now that the Lapras does win that matchup. I could have spent another shield myself, and then I could almost even have ice sharded them down from that point. Probably he would have gotten to another charge move if I'd done that. But the point is, like, I can easily win that matchup with Lapras if I stay in. I guess I was hoping to get up some energy on the Marowak, so that I could use it against the next Pokemon, because Marowak is a very dangerous Pokemon with energy. But I had to spend a shield to do that, which I don't think that's a particularly good price to pay. Having said that, I would have to have spent the shield anyway if I'd kept the Lapras in. So that's something to say for that. Silver brings out that Frostlass, and that Frostlass is basically, it has nothing left to do in the battle. It had that much HP left, so really the only use it has at that point is as a sack swap. But the cast form's now in, and it's going to tear apart that Marowak. So that was another kind of problem with me switching in, was that I then locked it in against something that, like, I knew he could have brought the cast form quite easily, and yeah, that beats the Marowak really quickly. So I do get off a Shadow Bone, and Silver fires that Weather Ball. Now, is there any point in shielding here? You might want to shield if you think you can flip the matchup that way. You might want to shield if you know you won't need shields for the Pokemon in the back. You might want to shield if you are almost at the end of your switch timer and you want to be able to switch that out for something else and bring it back in later. None of those things were happening here. So I don't think there was any reason for me to shield there. I could have possibly gotten to another Shadow Bone and kind of gotten Silver's second shield at that point. And I think he would have shielded, because when he's in that dominant a matchup, I'm not exactly sure what would make him let that cast form go. Yeah. Oh, actually, that's the first time I've noticed that. We were at a Shadow Bone. We could have thrown a bloody Shadow Bone. Oh, man. So that would have been a massive difference. And Silver didn't shield. I think they didn't know that we were at the Shadow Bone either, because if he had thought that was another Shadow Bone, then I think he would have shielded. Anyway, we are faced with this decision whether to bring in the Lapras or the Ferrothorn. So that Marowak is still... no, hang on. Have we seen their third Pokemon? What have we seen? We've seen Frostlass and we've seen Castform. We don't know what their third Pokemon is. My bad. So with the Ferrothorn, if we bring that in, we can afford to maybe even farm down the Castform with Bullet Seeds, because none of Castform's moves are going to hurt us. Yeah, it's a much better decision than the Lapras. So we do bring in that Ferrothorn, and that's exactly what we do. Is we farm down. That little rain droplet can hit us with all the rain it likes, but that is not going to help its situation. And out comes a Alolan Marowak, so we are screwed. Everybody, we throw a Thunder, and then we get out of there. The Lapras comes in, and here's where we use our shield. But again, we're at kind of a standoff here, because see, I kind of held off on that Surf because I knew that throwing a Surf would just force him to use his shield as well. So I was hoping maybe some sort of energy lead could, some sort of extra building up of energy would enable me to throw it against the Frostlass again at some point. I don't know. It was just doesn't make sense in my own head at the moment, but I think that's what I was thinking. And down goes Ferrothorn. So, the main thing that won that for Silver was the shield usage, especially when he was down to one shield. So, that Marowak obviously would have been destroyed by one Surf at that point. Kept the shield up until that point to keep the Marowak going, and after he shielded one Surf, he could just farm down the Lapras, farm down the Ferrothorn. Could do Silver could have Fire Spin whatever it wanted after shielding one Surf from the Lapras. So that was battle number 1. Let's take a look at battle number 2. I'm down 1-0 at the moment. And we get Ferrothorn versus Forretress. Now, yes, so this is my double Mudboy strat. This is based on that very famous, unbalanced line that Caleb Peng popularized, which is having two Pokemon that are pretty much the same role in the back, and a Pokemon that covers its counters, or their counters. So the idea is if this Forretress had lost the lead, I swap in a Mudboy, and that draws out the Ferrothorn. The Ferrothorn has its way with the Mudboy. I bring my Forretress back in, and it finishes off the Ferrothorn, and then my remaining Mudboy has free reign in the rest of the team. Because if you look at the team that Silverfire is running there, Crustle, Mudboy easily beats Crustle. Rainy Cast form, it's a tie. Marowak, Mudboy crushes Marowak. Frostlass, again, probably a tie. Alolan Muck, the Mudboys usually win that one. Definitely, depending on some other factors, but yeah, it's the Mudboys very important here. So being able to get the one Pokemon that can counter the Mudboys out of the way is going to be huge for my game. So the thing is, I got the Forretress in against the Pokemon that I wanted it to be against, so it didn't really matter in the end. So I just Bug Bite away. Oh, sorry. I go for the bait, and it does not work. I would have thought that Silver would be trying to keep that Ferrothorn going, because he would have known that I'd have at least one Mudboy in the back. So I would have thought he'd be a lot more protective of it, but alas, he was not. And here is how you screw up this matchup. By allowing yourself to get hit by two Thunders. I was very lucky there that Silver opted not to shield the second move as well, because after being hit by 2 Thunders, I was within farmable range. And that would have given... How much trouble would I have been in having 2 Mud Boys in the back, Silver having 2 shields, and my 1 counter to it is gone. Oh, and of course, it's got a massive energy lead. So out comes Castform, finishes off the Fortress. We're both on 2 shields each. I bring out the Swampert because I guess I've decided that... Well, number one, I've decided that the Sludge Wave is going to be better than Stone Edge. But I don't know that for certain, so let's look at that, whether Sludge Wave or Stone Edge will be the better option. Cast one Rainy. Sludge Wave does 48.9% damage. Stone Edge does 40% damage. So Sludge Wave definitely better. The other thing is that I figured that Quagsire would do a little better with shields down at the end of the game than Swampert would. Sludge Wave is a good move, but if you run that instead of Earthquake, you're giving up closing potential. That Quagsire can come in the back and it can, take out some things with Stone Edge, but it can also really take things out with Earthquake at the end. So I opted to bring in the Swampert first, and if that one faints, so be it. It can usually take a shield or 2 with it. So now I'm letting this go. And Silver shields, so now he's down a shield. And I just fire off that Hydro Cannon because I'm not going to get to a Sludge Wave. And we get the shield from Silver. That is huge. That is a big deal. Because now Quagsire can do what it's meant to do. It has closing potential with that Earthquake, like I just said. And Silver now has no shields to hide behind to stop that closing from happening. Not only that, I've got 2 shields available to protect my Quag. So here comes that first shield. Now, I don't know whether I go for the Stone Edge or the Earthquake here at this point. I'm going to quickly see. So 40 damage versus 57%. Is that... I thought that is a pretty low difference. So 40 and 57. Yeah, I guess not too different. So at the moment, Stone Edge is looking like not the right option. It has to be the Earthquake. But I do go for the Stone Edge. But that's fine because it allows me to Mud Shot down. Not so fine, I guess, because I have to use my second shield. But again, like, what have we got in the back? I know that Ferrothorn's gone. I now know the Castform's gone. So, what else could it be? Crustle, Marowak, Frostlass, and Alolan Mark. Earthquake is going to be, fantastic for the Alolan Mark. It's going to be fantastic for this Marowak. Stone Edge is going to, I think, one-shot a Frostlass. Let's find out. Oh, no. Not even close. 74%. But it's going to, do some real work on a Frostlass. The only problem would be Crustle, but Crustle doesn't actually... Even though we don't have a super effective move against it, it's not going to be doing that much pressure, applying that much pressure on us with its resisted moves, essentially. So I get up to the Earthquake, and that is enough to completely wipe out that Marowak. And then whatever that was, I've gone blank in the back. Didn't have enough HP, so that is a non-event. So we are now 1-1. Let's take a look at battle number 3. And we got Quag versus Frostlass. So fantastic lead for us. That Stone Edge is going to be applying heaps of pressure. How many Mudshots does it take to get to Stone Edge? So 55 energy. Mudshot is 9 energy. So we are looking at 10. We got to fire 10 Mudshots. That's 20 turns. That's a lot. So that Frostlass can absolutely beat us to a charge move there. Which it does. Now, my prediction, like I said, it's been ages since I've watched this, but my prediction is that Silver will shield, because now that Shadow Ball has been let through, I'm at a very, very low HP range, and it puts me essentially farmable, and Frostlass is one of those Pokemon that I've mentioned a couple of times where it's fantastic with an energy lead, so Silver would really like to have some energy on this Pokemon. Yeah. There it is. So now I go for that next Stone Edge and I get it, which is a big deal. So Silver misjudged that one, and now Silver has to use that shield. So now Silver is down 2 shields to nothing. That's big. Avalanche is resisted here, has to be Shadow Ball, and again, I keep thinking he's going to try and bait it, and I am incorrect. So, but while Bug Bite is resisted by Ghost, Mirror Shot is super effective against the Ice, so that Mirror Shot just does way too much damage. I bring out the shield, and it's an Avalanche this time. Here comes Shadow Bone. Now, this one's a little different. Do I use the shield here? I do. So, obviously, I've sensed that I could possibly flip this matchup. Even if, and here's the great thing about this situation, even if I don't flip the matchup, using the shield there is still an okay option, because I get to this Shadow Bone and I take it out low enough that probably the Bug Bites from Fortress can finish the job when that comes back in. Like, you can see that I'm just melting away. But I get to the next Shadow Bone and I finish that job. So using the shield there was great. And now I have not a worry in the world, because both of the Pokemon I've got remaining are counters to the Ferrothorn. Power Whip ain't good enough. And now, this is the formalities part of the battle, because we know this is all over. And I managed to win 2-1. So I took out the rest of that set to win my first Marsh Cup battle for the month. So that's it for this video. If you like what you see, please do us a favor and comment, share, like, subscribe. That ensures that more people discover it, because the more people are discovering this, the more chance I've got of actually continuing to do this. We also do some work on Twitch, so if you want to check us out, there is a link to the Twitch channel in the description, and I will see you in the next video.